I never believed in curses, not until the day I witnessed one unfold before my very eyes. My name is Rachel, and this story begins on a night that changed everything. I was a freelance photographer in my late 20s, always eager to explore forgotten places for the sake of capturing their essence in hauntingly beautiful frames. Abandoned buildings, rusted factories, old cemeteries. These were my canvas. But when I stumbled upon Blackwood Manor, I found myself stepping into something far darker than I ever could have imagined. The manor had stood for nearly 2 centuries, a relic of Victorian Gothic architecture, hidden deep within the thick woods of Hollow Creek. Legends whispered through the town claimed the place was cursed, that no one who had entered had come out unchanged. Some spoke of shadows that moved on their own, others of screams in the night, and still others claimed the house itself breathed, alive with a hunger for souls. I dismissed most of this as folklore, but something inside me couldn't resist. The night I chose to go, the air was heavy with fog, curling through the trees like skeletal fingers. My camera hung at my side, its strap worn but reliable, and my flashlight cut through the mist as I made my way toward the towering silhouette of the manor. The closer I got, the colder the air became. My breath puffed white clouds in front of me, though the night wasn't that cold when I'd left my apartment. The gates of Blackwood Manor stood rusted, barely clinging to their hinges. I pushed one open, the sound of grinding metal echoing into the still night. The gravel crunched beneath my boots as I stepped inside. Immediately, I felt something heavy pressing against my chest, a sensation like unseen eyes watching me, dissecting me, deciding whether or not I belonged. The front door was tall, arched, with carvings of twisted faces along its frame. When I touched the handle, it was icy cold, and for a brief second, I thought I felt a pulse. My stomach flipped, but I brushed it off and pushed inside. The interior smelled of rot and mildew. The wallpaper peeled in jagged strips, and the air carried a damp heaviness. My flashlight beam darted across broken furniture, shattered glass, and long-forgotten portraits, staring down at me with eyes that seemed far too alive. I lifted my camera and clicked a few shots, the sound of the shutter oddly loud against the silence. Then I heard it, a whisper. At first, I thought it was just the wind slipping through cracks in the house. But then it grew clearer. Witness, witness. The voice was faint, hollow, and feminine. My blood turned cold. I swung my flashlight toward the direction it came from, but the hallway stood empty. Still, the word echoed, reverberating in my head. I moved deeper into the manor. Each step creaked on the warped wooden floorboards. The grand staircase loomed in front of me, its banister broken in places. As I raised my camera to snap another picture, the flash burst through the dark. For a split second, the light revealed a figure at the top of the stairs, a woman, dressed in a tattered white gown, her face pale and hollow, her hair falling like black vines around her shoulders. By the time my eyes adjusted from the flash, she was gone. I froze. My instincts screamed at me to leave, but my curiosity, my damn foolishness, kept me rooted. I told myself it was just my imagination, a trick of the light, but deep down I knew better. As I climbed the staircase, the whispers returned. Witness the cursed. The second floor was worse. The walls were lined with cracked mirrors, their surfaces fogged and smeared. My reflection seemed off, delayed somehow, like it lagged behind my movements. I felt sick to my stomach. I tried to keep my camera up, documenting everything, but my hands shook so badly the images blurred. A sudden crash made me spin. At the end of the hallway, a door slammed shut on its own. My flashlight flickered, plunging me into stuttering darkness, before stabilizing again. I approached the door cautiously. When I pressed my ear against it, I heard faint sobbing from the other side. Against every instinct, I turned the knob. Inside was what appeared to be a nursery. The wallpaper was faded, once decorated with cheerful animals that now looked grotesque. A cradle sat in the middle of the room, gently rocking though no one touched it. My throat tightened as I raised the flashlight. Inside the cradle was a bundle of cloth. Slowly, the cloth shifted, as though something squirmed beneath it. I forced myself to pull the fabric back. There was no baby. Instead, a grotesque doll with porcelain skin cracked and blackened stared up at me, its glass eyes suddenly blinking. I stumbled backward, heart pounding, when the sobbing turned into laughter, a chilling, high-pitched cackle that filled the room. The cradle rocked violently now, slamming against the floor until it split apart. The doll's mouth opened impossibly wide, emitting a scream that pierced my skull. I ran. I didn't care where, I just needed to get out. I tore through the hallways, but the house twisted on itself. Corridors stretched longer than they should. Doors led to walls. Staircases spiraled endlessly. It was as though the manor was alive, trapping me in its rotting belly. Then I saw her again. The woman in white. She stood in the distance, her head tilted unnaturally to one side, her arms outstretched. Her lips moved, but the words came not from her mouth, but all around me. "Witness the cursed. Witness what must be seen," I shouted. "What do you want from me?" Her eyes glowed faintly, two white orbs in the darkness. Her gown fluttered, though there was no wind. She stepped closer, and as she did, the temperature plummeted. My breath came in ragged gasps, visible in the air. Then I realized something horrifying. She wasn't walking. She was gliding. I turned to run again, but every direction I took, she appeared ahead of me. I was trapped in her endless maze, a fly caught in her web. Desperation clawed at me. My camera, still hanging around my neck, seemed suddenly heavy, almost alive. Against my better judgment, I raised it and snapped a photo. The flash went off, blinding for a moment. When it cleared, the woman was gone. But when I looked at the preview on my camera screen, she was still there, staring directly into the lens, closer than she had been in reality. Her face was twisted, her mouth open in a silent scream. The camera grew hot in my hands, so hot I dropped it. The moment it hit the ground, the entire house shuddered, as though it had felt pain. Dust rained from the ceiling, and the walls groaned. I ran for the stairs, sprinting down them two at a time. The front door loomed ahead. I burst through it, into the freezing night air. My lungs burned, my heart hammered, but I didn't stop running until the manor was a distant shadow behind me. Only when I reached the edge of the woods did I dare to look back. The manor stood silent, its windows like watchful eyes. For a moment, I thought I saw the woman in white standing in one of them, her hand pressed against the glass, watching me flee. I never went back, but the curse didn't let me go. Since that night, the word witness haunts me. Whispers follow me in the dark. My reflection lags behind in mirrors. And worse, every photo I take, no matter the subject, shows her. Sometimes in the background, sometimes looming just behind me, sometimes staring directly into the camera. I don't know what she wants. I only know this. I witness the cursed. And once you do, you never escape it.